Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
And we're back, man, episode 406.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get right into it. Very unfortunate news. As we all know, the main headline for pretty much everything is the shooting, the ICE shooting that took Renee Good's life. It's a very tough thing to witness.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of scary to see, immigration supposed to be, supposedly, I guess, deporting people, and shooting Americans. I don't remember this ever happening. But anyways, Renee Good, the driver shot and killed by ICE agent in Minneapolis, was a mom and widow. Here's what we know. The death of Renee Good, a 37-year-old woman who was shot and killed by a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer in Minneapolis on Wednesday, has sparked national outcry. Her father, Timothy Granger, tells CBS Evening News anchor that she was the kind of person who always cared deeply about other people. He described her as warm, witty, and with bubbly personality. Let's go to the actual shooting. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, that's a lot of non-important details. Basically, what ended up happening is the officer was near the front panel of the vehicle. She was parked near her own home, and there was a car blocking there initially. There were some words exchanged by the other person that was in the vehicle, and the officer claimed that his life was in danger. Video shows that he really wasn't. He just moved out of the way, and he shot her 3 times in the head, which is beyond excessive. The reason why I think I don't want to speed through that. But I think we've all seen the video, or most people have seen the video since it's all happened. It's been everywhere. But what's scary about this is the fact that the White House just backed it immediately with no investigation, nothing. J.D. Vance, in quote, basically said the person has immunity. J.D. Vance says ICE officer who shot woman in Minneapolis protected by absolute immunity, which is fucking scary. That doesn't even make any sense. How are you protected by immunity?
Yeah.
When you take somebody's life. The issue that I think no one's talking about is everybody's talking about, well, the Fourth Amendment protects this, and you should be able to do that. And you have to understand that power and people who are extremely wealthy and people who have a lot of power do not play by rules. We often like to mention rules like they can't shoot you. It's against the law to say this, and they can't tell you not to record, and they can't do. Bro, I think they've been given the green light. I think that there's been some type of conference call between the White House and, federal law enforcement. And he told them, hey, do what you want. Do what you need to do to get your job done, and we've got your back. I genuinely believe that is what happened. Because not only in this case, there was another shooting. The victim, what's his name? Keith Porter. This happened on New Year's. An off-duty ICE officer approached him and said that he was, shooting the gun at him when he wasn't. It's illegal to shoot your firearm during New Year's Eve day or whatever, but at the same time, he was shooting the gun up, and he had an AR-15. The off-duty ICE officer approached him, didn't even identify himself, and shot him and killed him. Dang. So we're having a real power problem, and I think that these things are not going to keep happening, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason why these officers are able to do this, like I said, I think they've been given the green light. They're the only ones wearing masks. Police officers don't wear masks. Sheriffs don't wear masks. Highway patrol don't wear masks. They're the only ones that wear masks. And it's because they know that they're going to do some fucked up shit, and they don't want to get doxxed. They don't want to get doxxed. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's too much information out there now.
Exactly. The shooter got doxxed, actually. They uncovered his face.
Fast, yeah.
They got him fast. So the thing about it is, if the police have to show their face in the public and the CHP have to show their face in the public and the community, these motherfuckers got to start showing their face. I just think that they know they're doing bad police work, and they don't want to get exposed. But here's the issue. The biggest issue is this. When you talk about them doing this and they're breaking the law and not being held accountable for it. There was what was that guy? There was 2 Hispanic men that they pulled over recently, and one of the ICE officers told him, "Hey, stop recording. You can't record. Stop recording." And he's like, I can't record. That's not true. That's against the law. He said, put the phone down. So he grabbed the dude's hand where the phone was, and the young Hispanic dude like pulled his hand away, like, stop. You can't do that. What are you doing? You can't do that. And he said, you give it to me now. So ultimately it was like a power struggle. They fought over it. And then the other side, it was a black police or black ICE officer started choking the dude out in the passenger seat. I'm like, who the fuck are these motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Like, this is...
They're like above the law.
Yeah, but the problem of being above the law is this. And this is why it's very important. You hear a lot of people on the left that are like, we need to get gun control. We shouldn't have guns. We can't control. The guns are the problem. It's like, stop. The reason why I tell y'all to stop is because the Second Amendment protects all of us. It's not just for people that are right-leaning. It's for people that are very liberal as well. And this is why. When people know they can punk you, they're going to keep doing it. And right now, citizens are being punked, and that's not good because they've drove a wedge so deep between liberals and conservatives that they're leaning on the fact that, like, the way Fox News is covering this stuff, it's like almost villainizing the woman that got shot. Mm-hmm. It's like, he's a federal officer. If you're given a lawful command, you need to abide by the command. It's like, bro, are you serious? Mm-hmm. We all seen the same video.
Yeah.
So you can't cover this up. When they have the ability to just shoot people and get immunity, that's a problem. I don't trust anybody with that.
But I think what he said is not, what J.D. Vance said is not accurate.
I think
the hard part is just proving that the ICE agent was in violation of the law. That's going to be the work of whatever lawyer or whoever,
right?
Whatever lawsuit that they have against that agent or the ICE, department itself. But I think that there's I'm not saying this as a way to justify or try to say that we need to tuck our tails when it comes to ICE agents. I say this in a way where I think that Renee should be able to make it home to her family.
Absolutely.
And, me and Eddie talk about these kind of things all the time. When we dealing with police officers, especially in Kern County, knowing the history that they have with shooting people and getting away with it, your goal is to make it home. You know what I mean? And I get that, tensions are high and you could be feeling some type of way about whatever the case may be. But I just had an altercation that I told you guys about last week or the week before where, I got the police called on me and I was just shooting a movie and I immediately took my mask off. You know what I mean? So I think that...
Before you even open the door.
Before I open the door. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's important for people to understand that, like, you don't got to be no punk or no weakling or whatever to just abide by what the police are saying, because that they coming in hot. That
Absolutely.
They got, not literally, but they got a license to kill. And
pretty much,
they, more times than not, they're going to do whatever they need to do. They're going to go on administrative leave. And they're going to continue to get paid, and then they're going to show up to court whenever they have to, and then that's going to be
scot-free.
And the hard part is, whether you Renee or Keith or Eddie or whoever, there's going to be one side, Fox News, that's going to try to paint you as whatever. They're going to pull up Eddie's TikToks, and then they're going to pull up my little videos and me making fun of people or little comedy sketches or whatever and try to make me look bad. And then there's going to be another version of it where people will be like, well, he's a teacher and this and he goes to church and all, and it's going to be two people or whoever got the most money is going to be the person that's able to paint the picture, and that's what it's going to look like. But I just recommend for anybody, if you ever have some type of run-in with ICE is different because they so aggressive, but just in general, if you have any run-in with law enforcement, just do everything you can just to make it home to your family.
I'm going to be very blunt when I say this. Comply. And the reason why I say comply is because if you're like, I don't have to show you anything. I'm a U.S. citizen. These motherfuckers just shot and killed somebody.
A white woman.
Don't sit there. I'm telling you right now. Some of y'all like, no, I ain't doing that. I'm American. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to bow down to that. Bro, you're going to die. Do you understand, stupid? You're going to die. Show them your fucking license. Because if you don't, you won't make it back home. If you want to fight them in court, not on the side of the road. You will never win on the side of the road. These motherfuckers are getting away with wearing a mask. They get to walk around faceless, man. You got to assess the situation, just like how I walk around in everyday life. Like if somebody's like, oh man, like if I see somebody and they seem like they have like aggressiveness about themselves and they're like, motherfucker, I don't care. It is what it is. I'm like, hey man, God bless you. You have a good day. Mm-hmm. I have something to lose. Mm-hmm. See, a person that has nothing to lose is dangerous.
Yeah.
Whether it's a citizen that's just like in and out of jail or a drug addict and they like, I don't care, motherfucker, I'll fight you. They don't care. These ICE agents are the same way. They're not fighting for their job because their job is protected.
Yeah, they ain't no different than like the gangbanger that's like
pressing
got
you
10 bodies.
Yeah,
they don't really care because they just they know, one, that they've done a lot of crime and they haven't got caught, or two, that if they do it, then they know how to move. They know how to, get rid of the guns and know how to, maneuver, outside of, the technology. It's like literal people in Bakersfield that have murdered people.
Yeah.
And they've been caught on camera, but they just can't piece it together because they don't have enough evidence. Like people that Eddie went to school with, people that I went to school with, that you may see them, I have one of my friends, he was like, I know this person, like, because I know them in real life, and they got the video all over the news, but the police officers can't piece it together, because they just can't. But I know who that person is because I grew up with that person.
But look here. Here's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is this. What you need to understand about what's happening now, at the top of the year, they got Keith Porter. Now they got, what's her face? Renee Good, right? And people that are very left leaning are like, you know what? We're gonna protest, and we're gonna show these motherfuckers that we're not putting up with this. They don't care. Stop with these weak ass protests. It is beyond protest. They are shooting people in 4K in the middle of the fucking street, and all you want to do is protest. Let me read something for you right here. And I'm in no way insinuating that we want it to go there, but you need to understand this is why the Second Amendment exists. Okay? And it's a part of the Second Amendment. It's way deeper than the right to bear arms. The idea that the Second Amendment serves as a safeguard against the tyrannical government is a central argument in American political and legal discourse, though it is a subject of differing interpretations. However, it says the founding fathers' intent. Many of the founders feared that the potential for government oppression and viewed an army citizen as a crucial check on federal power, drawing from their experience fighting what they perceive as the British tyranny. So basically, if there's any government overreach and the citizens are being oppressed, it's also meant for you to protect yourself. That's not me saying it. It's literally in the Second Amendment. For defense from a tyrannical government. Literally, that's what it is. So when they're turning guns on American citizens, and these things are happening enough, and they have masks on their face, and they're being told, they're saying out loud that they're giving them immunity. I just want y'all to know that there are way more of us than them. Mm-hmm. Okay, they already punking us now. They taxing the fuck out of you, number one. You can't afford nothing really no more. They coming up with these new taxes, and they coming up with these, they bringing up the state tax, and they bringing up the motherfucking housing tax, and the property tax, and this tax, and this tax. They punking us in both ways. We getting punked all over the place. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is once they punk you enough, they know you're not going to do shit because you're too afraid to lose your freedom and go to jail. And they know that. Mm-hmm. They know that there's a lot of law-abiding citizens in the United States that don't want any issues, right? And there's a million people that have their phones out like, hey, I'm a physician. Can I check her pulse? And they're like, no, you can't. We got some people coming on our own. And he's like, where are they at? He said, just calm down. Like, they are literally killing people and telling everybody to calm down. Mm-hmm. Like, this was never the purpose of immigration. I think that this shit here, this is like literal, in the other, let's look at all the things that are happening right now. Not just this, But this nigga just went into Venezuela and just grabbed homeboy up and got him out of there.
Yeah.
So I think he
I
throwing.
was chilling in his Nike Tech.
I think this motherfucker. I think Mr. Trump is throwing his weight around. And I think he's trying to establish like, hey, I'm a bully. This is what the fuck I'm gonna do whenever I want to do, and it's gonna be up to the people to say, hey, no, you can't do that. That's and that's the only way. And
I thought that when he was saying "Make America Great Again," he was talking about like the 1950s. But I think he talking about the 1850s.
Yeah, that's what he must be talking about.
Like this ain't even about racism no more. This is just about like
it's about control,
a whole world domination. Like he trying to take over countries.
Yeah, you can't do that because what's gonna happen is this. What's gonna happen is we gonna have one. It's gonna be about 1 a.m, right? And he gonna be like, I've got a devised great plan. You know, you guys need to be in the house by 10 p.m. You can't go outside. It's gonna get crazy, right? Yeah. And then we're going to look in the sky at 1 a.m. and it's going to be green. We like, what is that? And then the whole motherfucking world going to blow up. That's what's going to happen. If the thing about it, dog, I'm going to say this. I don't live in fear of a nuclear war or this and that. Bro, if they're going to blow us up, blow it up. Who cares? I just hope that whatever civilization comes up after us, they do it the right way. Mm-hmm. I hope that they don't oppress people. I hope that they don't have a government that overreaches and patrols and shoots innocent people. I hope that they don't start a civilization into bondage and slavery and free labor. I hope that people actually can actually be on a united front, right? But when I see this, the only thing I think about, bro, is like, I know that people are the divisive nature of politics is working so well that it doesn't matter what ICE does. Like ICE could just it could just be, imagine this. It could just be a black kid walking to school and then an ICE agent just runs full speed, punches him in the mouth and knees him in the face. And then it's going to be on Fox News. They're going to say, hey, well, we don't know a whole story. Mm-hmm. We don't know what happened. What was the kid doing? Where was he going? Like you whenever you black and you get beat up by law enforcement, you never get the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Like it's going to take a while before they be like, okay, well, he was innocent. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or no, excuse me. They won't say that. You going to get beat up and they going to find that the officer was wrong and then they just going to move on to the next story. Nobody's going to apologize. They're
going to revisit the story.
They did that shit with Ahmed Arbery. Ahmed Arbery was being told that he was more than a jogger and all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I thought Candace Owens handled that story terribly. I thought that she demonized somebody that was minded. Turns out that was a motherfucking hate crime. Right. And then Fox just moved on from the story. Didn't say nothing else.
Nobody even acknowledged
that shit. And now CNN got a very bad liberal bias because all they do is just be on Trump's dick 24/7. That shit is annoying. Yeah. If I turn on CNN, it's like, what clown job is the president up to now? It's like, nigga. Yeah. This is supposed to be news.
I think that the cost of breaking the law should not be death by nobody. Nah. You know, like it maybe like, you know, when we talking about people on death row, if you got like a first degree murder or something like that, that's different. But, you know, even if Ahmed Arbery was trespassing or something like that's you shouldn't die. You shouldn't die over that. You shouldn't die over that at all. Even this girl, Renee, she didn't deserve to die. And that's the hardest part with this situation is that maybe they'll find a way to justify it. Maybe they'll find a way to say that his life was in imminent danger and all these other things. But at the end of the day, she was driving off. So to me, you know, you never know how these things play out, especially ICE agents, because it's a little different. I don't think there's been a huge precedent for lawsuits and things like that against ICE agents, but yeah, if your life is not in danger and you kill somebody, shoot somebody in the face 3 times, then you are in the wrong. No matter how you slice it. The woman was driving away, so
she was driving away. Her wheels were already turned the other way when you chose to shoot her. You coward. Mm-hmm. Here's another interpretation of the Second Amendment. Verbatim, this is what it says. The Second Amendment is widely interpreted as a safeguard against government tyranny, stemming from the founders' fear of oppressive standing armies, ensuring an armed citizenry could resist potential government overreach or or despotism alongside self-defense and militia purposes, with Supreme Court rulings like Heller affirming an individual right for lawful purposes, including defense against public threats, though the insurrectionist theory of an armed rebellion isn't accepted in law, historical context links an armed populace to securing liberty. So the thing about it is, I just find it kind of crazy how the biggest, I'll say this, the biggest supporters of the Second Amendment are conservative people. But in a situation like this, the biggest supporters of the Second Amendment should be people who are liberal. You're going out there and you're like, we got to stop this. Don't you understand if they got enough ammunition, they will mow all of you guys down? Don't you understand that? You could have your cell phones out with the brightness up all the way, and they will shoot straight through that motherfucking phone. And you are talking, we need gun control. We need this. We need that. This isn't right. Keep on screaming that, and they're going to keep mowing y'all down. Okay? I think that responsible gun ownership is not just for conservatives. It's for everybody. Mm-hmm. Right? So when you sit back and you keep watching people get mowed down, eventually you might need to protect yourself according to the law, not according to Eddie McGee on a podcast. It's according to the Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. So I strongly suggest you exercise your Second Amendment legally and don't do anything. But it's almost like knowing how to fight, right? Just because you know how to fight doesn't mean you should. Your first option should be to run away. Run away, evade the situation, walk away. But when you're put in a corner where you have to respond, you have the skills, you have the ability, you have the fluidity and the time to respond to a threat. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the Second Amendment is good for. Mm-hmm. It's an off-duty ICE officer should not have the authority to shoot a citizen. Mm-hmm. This motherfucker hasn't even identified itself. Mm-hmm. You guys got to really pay attention to what's happening. It's deeper than just, the ICE agents, they're doing this. Bro, they've been given the green light. Do you understand there are some people who couldn't wait to get the ability to do what they're doing?
Yeah.
Like, they've been waiting forever to do this. Like, people literally, their political beliefs and their ideologies bleed into their job. Mm-hmm. So if they're a person that's like, we got to get these fucking illegals out of here. I'm so tired of these goddamn illegals and these black bastards walking around all day. I'm sick and tired of them. Mm-hmm. And then they get to put a mask on their face.
Yeah.
Come on, dog. Like, if that's like fucking Halloween candy to them.
Yeah.
And they got people, and they got, well, I don't think they have immunity. By law, I don't think they do. I think that when they do these investigations, they're going to start sending these motherfuckers to jail.
Yeah, I think that's what it sounds like to me. I think everybody's seeing that video. It's too much footage for them to
too
just
much.
walk away.
It's too much. Yeah, it's way too much. And this is deeper than just like, oh, this is police brutality against black people. It's way deeper than that. They shooting white women in the face, homie.
Yeah.
That's the thing people got to understand. So if you're a person who's like right-leaning and you voted for Trump, you need to understand this much. It's affecting you, bro. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be walking somewhere, you're going to be going to Walmart, and minding your business. And on that day, you might have forgot your Trump hat. You forgot to put it on before you went to the grocery store. And you just had like, maybe you had let's say you had a Anaheim Angels hat on, and you get stopped by ICE and you're like, we're American, we're fine. And because you subscribe so much to the very right-leaning ideology, you're like, I'm American, we're fine. And they say, get out the car. And you're like, I'm not getting out. We're fine. We're American. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you got to get out the car. And then he pulls a gun out. Like, whoa, why is your gun out? What's going on? I'm American. Can't you tell by my accent? I'm from here. Mm-hmm. And you're like, get out the car. And then you don't get out the car and you get shot. Did it take you to get shot to understand like what this is really about? It's not about deporting immigrants. It's about control. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's wild. And you know what I don't respect is this. If ICE was going to find people who were immigrants, right? But they were, let's say they was committing crimes. let's say it was criminals. Let's say you were deporting criminals. I wouldn't really have nothing to say because we already got enough criminals in America in general. So if you come in here committing crimes and they getting you out of here, okay, fine. But they're getting people at work. They're going into people's jobs.
Yeah.
And they're literally racially profiling. They're going. It was this dude that was doing Uber, and I think he pulled up to his house. They pulled behind him and says, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" And he was at work.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm not answering your fucking questions. You just shot somebody today." It was in Minneapolis, actually. It was a few hours after they had killed that lady, and they was asking him. And it was a lady ICE officer.
Yeah.
I'm like, dog, what?
Yeah, man.
Just show these motherfuckers your identification so you go home. I know a lot of people might disagree with that take, but I'm just saying that because they've already shown what they can do. Now, if you want to try to battle a person on the side of the road that got a mask on their face with a loaded gun and they got support from the White House, you go right a fucking head. But I like my life. I'd rather go home.
Yeah, I'm going to choose my life every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time I'm going to choose my life.
Mm-hmm.
And Keith has been with me before when we got pulled over by officers, and I complied. I didn't say, man, y'all ain't got nothing to do. Why you pulling me over? Why you bothering me? And I could have done that, but it's not going to bode well. Mm-hmm. The officer will always win on the side of the road. The officer could lie, especially back then. We didn't have, nobody was recording like that. Mm-hmm. So one officer pulled me over one day, said your music was too loud. I didn't even have my deck in. Like my music deck wasn't even plugged in. He said your music was too loud. I said it wasn't even on. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, okay, well, give me your license. Like, he just lied. He literally made a blatant lie to pull me over.
Yeah.
And unless y'all have ever been racial profiled, don't listen to this shit and like try to form an opinion on my life, homie. Mm-hmm. I'm not sitting up on here lying and making up some typical black person lie about being stopped by the police. I've been stopped so many times. It is insane. And I have no criminal record. None. Mm-hmm. So it's wild. You know what's crazy, too? I thought about this, Keith. I've been driving trucks for 10 years now, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought about, like, when you go through the scales, they bring you in for what's called a DOT inspection, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't stop you all that much. But when they do stop you, they just do a DOT inspection on the truck. They check the paperwork and everything out. And it's supposed to be a random DOT inspection. But over the 10 years that I've been driving, I've had 21 DOT inspections in 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to other drivers, and they was like, I've talked to a lot of other drivers. And they was like, oh, man, I've been pulled in about 4 times. Mm-hmm. I was like, how long you been driving? About 14, 15 years.
Dang.
And I'm like, am I making this? Is this like a number that I'm just wrong about in my mind, or what's going on? Mm-hmm. And when I went to San Diego, there's a Border Patrol / DOT scale before you get to San Diego. And I had a trainee out there with me, and I got stopped. No big deal. It's just a DOT inspection. And then the next day, I went back out to San Diego and got stopped again by the same exact DOT inspector. Mm-hmm. The same fucking dude. And then when I pulled in, he was like, oh, you look kind of familiar. I'm like, yeah, you stopped me yesterday. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he proceeded.
Still not a criminal.
But yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. Then he proceeded to do the most weakest DOT inspection ever. Like, the DOT inspection probably lasted 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He didn't even properly check the truck. He knew he fucked up. Mm-hmm. He knew he profiled me. That's all it was. Mm-hmm. I had a Hispanic dude that I was training, and it was me. And my thing is, I don't like to throw the race card out there, but you got to understand, these things really do take place. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. Yeah.
I think we covered it.
I think we covered it, dude. Mm-hmm. I would just tell people out there, exercise your rights, man. Don't just go protest. That protests don't work no more, dog. Mm-hmm. I know I'm gonna get some flack for that. Like, protests work. What about Martin Luther King? Oh, it worked back when Martin Luther King did it, but not with y'all.
Yeah,
y'all gonna hit the streets with y'all cell phones, and you're gonna take all these videos, and you're gonna have videos rolling of people getting hit, they kicked and shot and beat up, and nothing's gonna happen to those officers. Mm-hmm. Right? So, hopefully the power gets checked by them, because if the power don't get checked by ICE and this keeps happening, then it's gonna be a big problem. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a big problem.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
See how that
we gonna
unfolds.
we gonna have to find out how gangster some of these gangbangers is in L.A. They love to talk about how gangster they is. They shoot the black and brown people. You know, I'm not saying they should do that to other people. All I'm saying is if they come into your neighborhood and they grabbing people up and deporting them, and y'all just sitting there, y'all some bitches. Straight up. That's some weak shit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come in. I think you seen the video I posted. The dude was sitting there like making lunch and somebody was banging on him at the park.
Yeah.
He's like, "What's up, homie? Where you from, homie? You gang bang?" He's like, and the dude was from like Carolina or something. He's like, "Nah, I don't gang bang, man. I'm just out here just eating my sound, mind my business." You know what I'm saying? He's like, "You can't just be in the park. You need to mind your business, homie." I was like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some loser activity.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, let's switch gears. All right, switching gears. People quitting their New Year's resolutions by the first week. Around 23% of people quit their New Year's resolutions within the first week, with numbers rising to 43% by the end of January, according to studies cited by sources like Ohio State University and Forbes, highlighting how quickly motivation fades and many abandon their goals. And there's one, what did it say, Quitter's Day? It says that literally it was just on there. Statistics on quitting. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, we can go ahead and move on. But there's a specific day on January, I think it's by January 7th, known as Quitter's Day.
A week later.
A week later, known as Quitter's Day. Look, man, it's not like, not to be like some motivational speaker or anything. The only thing you need to understand is you're going to die. That is the only motivating factor that you need. So when you bullshit yourself and you cut your shit short or you quit and you gain 40 pounds and then you gain 50 pounds and you're like, I need to find motivation. And then you download all of these motivational videos from David Goggins and then you go right back in the kitchen and eat 5 pancakes. It's like you just playing yourself at some point. You just playing yourself, man. Like the only motivating thing that you need is you're going to die and you don't know when. And if you have any consciousness after you die, imagine walking into a room, a dark room with a huge screen that's showing your whole life from the time you were an infant until the time you died, and you just came to the conclusion that, like, bro, I didn't accomplish anything. I quit on everything. I was a bad husband. I was a bad boyfriend. I quit on my diet numerous times. You'll get to see the true you. I feel like whenever we die, there's going to be a mirror that is turned back on us. That it is like literally it's irrefutable evidence of our effort and our intention. And you're going to be able to look at yourself and be like, fuck, I really didn't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let that happen, man.
I think that one thing that I realized being a teacher, I had texted my friend one day, and I was like, yo, a lot of these screenplays are terrible. Like, we had an assignment where the kids were writing screenplays, and the majority of them were bad, like bad grammar.
Damn.
The story wasn't cohesive, just overall, like there was one guy out of however many kids I have in my class of three classes that wrote the screenplays. And out of all of those classes, there was probably one kid where I was like thoroughly impressed. Like, dang, this guy, like, if he wanted to be a screenwriter, he might have the potential to do so. The other ones were just like, whatever. And I texted my friend, I was like, hey man, like I'm giving out a lot of like bad grades on this screenplay. Like, is this normal or whatever? And he was basically like, yeah, like, most kids are average. That's, C is average, and that's where majority of the grades lie.
Damn.
And it just kind of like it was interesting to me because I'm for me as a student, like not that I got like straight A's all the time. But like when I was locked in, I would get really good grades.
Yeah,
you know what I
here.
mean? And I never try to like cut corners. I try to get the best grades possible.
Yeah.
And so even when, like, say for example, I meet with a student, I'm like, hey, you should change this, and this will help you improve your grade. And there was times where I wrote on, the student screenplays, and they didn't actually fix the things that we had met and talked about, even though they had time to do it. And I say all that to say that that's the world, right? Like, we live in a world where not everyone, but the majority of people are average. Meaning like they have average consistency, they have average drive, they have average motivation. They have average, just completely average people, and that's just how it is. But then there are those few people that can, like, their life can change by reading a David Goggins book or listening to the podcast of said person, and then they really like, I can really do this, and they use that as motivation. But for the most part, like, most of these people are going to be average. So I think that it is unfortunate that that's the reality of the situation. But I think one of the things that I've realized about, like, New Year's resolutions are, you have to be real with yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying, like, be real with yourself, like, like
you ain't shit.
Yeah, more so just, like, be real with yourself in a way where like, you're putting goals that are, like, far out there, but also something that that you can do. Like, there's some people that are like, man, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. every day and hit the gym, but you're not a morning person.
You got to make it there first.
So that you 45 years old and you like, man, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. every day, when in reality you've been sleeping until 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So maybe you can still have that goal, but maybe you should be like a night gym goer. You know what I mean? Because that may fit more in line with your schedule. But I just think that that's the place to start. I think that, like, really knowing who you are, and making your goals, like, realistic to the type of person you've been for your whole life.
Yeah. Overall, too, you got to make it there. You need momentum going into the new year. You can't sit there and be like, I'm going to do this. Like, motherfucker, you've been eating chips the whole year, and now you want to go into 2026 with all this motivation. You have to build the habits before you get there first. Mm-hmm. Like, that shit don't just happen at the snap of a finger. Mm-hmm. That's not how that shit work, man. That's why motherfuckers quit all the time. And then they'll be like, oh, they'll see you making some progress. Be like, dang, bro, you looking a little more fit, dog. I got to get back in the gym. I've been out of the gym for like 6 months. And it's like, bro, like, if you want it, that's going to be up to you, man. Like, and then also, too, as men, I would say as men, the reason why we have to be better leaders or be better leaders of ourselves is because it affects everybody in the household or the people who know us. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you overweight, that just gave your wife and your kids the license to be overweight. Mm-hmm. Because if dad is fat, well, I guess everybody could be fat now. Yeah. That's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. Right? And you can't chastise your wife for gaining weight if you've been eating Big Macs all the time. That's not how it works. Yeah. That's poor leadership. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that stuff is great. But I think it's also, like, there's more resolutions than just the gym, which is, gym is usually the one you see, the gym be like just crazy.
I've got a good one, but I'm going to let you rock. But I got a really good one.
But yeah, I think it could be financial. It could be saving money. It can be, getting your credit score up and things like that. The gym is one where I think it should be a part of, like, everybody's life. Just being able to get some exercise in every week. But I think that when it comes to, like, the other aspects, there's people that want to do like really dope stuff, but they just don't know how to do it. Like, people want to read more books. People want to go vacation more. People want to do, different things. And and a lot of the stuff is attainable. And a lot of people aren't doing certain things just because they talked about in church today, like, and I'm paraphrasing, but just kind of like how humans naturally conform to their comfort zone, Yeah. Like a lot of people are comfortable with not waking up when they're supposed to, so they hit the snooze button like 10 times. Mm-hmm. Or people are very used to being late everywhere. You know what I mean? So instead of, like, waking up a little earlier or starting to get ready a little bit earlier, they conform to where they give themselves 20 minutes to get ready or throw their clothes on or whatever, and they always late. So that's just like, it's just like those little things. I think it's the little things that we have to change, going into this year to really make big leaps, as far as 2026 goes.
I would say everyone's New Year's resolution should be to make more money, and the reason why is not for the simple fact to just buy a bunch of cool shit, but you should make more money so you can have more experiences. Experiences cost money. That's just the truth. You want to go to SeaWorld, that costs money. You want to go to Disneyland, that costs money. You want to go to Six Flags, that costs money. And I think that in order to experience more things in life, you have to make more money. So whatever you're doing right now, it may not be the best job. Try to find a job. Try to find a trade, whether it's truck driving, HVAC, welding, whatever it is. If you want to get your teacher credential, become a teacher, whatever it is, find a way to make more money so you can experience more life.
Yeah,
I think that should be everybody's resolution moving forward. Because if you grow up poor, I noticed that growing up poor, we didn't have a lot of experiences because family didn't really have any fucking money, so we spent a lot of time not doing shit. And that's not what life is supposed to be. We have a very short time on this planet, and I think we should experience as much as possible. Whether it's traveling out of the country or going out of the state to do whatever it is, watch your favorite baseball team or do whatever the case. I just think that we deserve those experiences. There's going to be a time where you're going to be like, I probably don't need to do that. Like it's, I'm probably just going to chill and maybe do it later. And it's like, honestly, you should probably do it now. Like if you're like, you know what, I was gonna go to San Diego to go to this, to go to this festival, but it's like maybe I'll go next year. It's like, no, you need to go in that house, and whatever money you got, if it's not gonna hurt you too bad, you need to take that drive to San Diego and go experience that because you may not do it.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first Fit Expo I went to back in 2016. I've been seeing a Fit Expo take place for years, and I was a huge fan of this YouTuber. Or like a fitness coach named Chris Jones. And he was super dope. And I was like, yo, I got to go meet that guy. I got to go to the Fit Expo. And I didn't go, but partly because I was too broke at the time. But the first one I went to was in 2016, and I went again the next year in 2017. I haven't been back since, but both times I was hoping to see Chris Jones. He didn't show up both times. But out there, I don't really care to see anybody else there because the fitness industry is pretty fake. A lot of motherfuckers be shooting steroids in their neck and shit. It's like that's not, yeah. But anyways, yeah, that definitely should be everybody's resolution in that regard. But just don't fucking quit, man. Stop quitting. You don't have the luxury of quitting things because you don't know how much time you have left on this planet. Imagine you go into the gym, you've been hitting it hard for a few months, and then you fall off the wagon, and then you just fucking die. And the last thing your family knows you as is a person to stop going to the gym and stop caring about your health and stop caring about other things. I don't like to keep using the gym, but it's probably the most dominant New Year's resolution for most people. But there's that. I'm not gonna beat you over the head with that, but let's go ahead and move forward.
I will say though, before we move on that, I think it's important, like, to prove yourself right, in a sense. And I think when even if it gets difficult, like, even with our podcast journey, we always have some sort of hiccups, and there's always like this thing where like, dang, I wish we had help. I wish we had this person, or like a producer, or I wish we had somebody to manage, X, Y, and Z. But I think you owe it to yourself, and I think we owe it to ourselves to keep going, because we're always at this crossroad where you can just quit, and you do save money, and we pay like the rent for the office, and just different different things that are associated with recording the podcast, and the time and energy and stuff like that. But if we quit and you give up, then you don't know what it will look like on the other side, right? And then, not that we're like doing this to prove somebody wrong, but then there are those people that are the naysayers that's like, see, like, I knew they wasn't going to stick that out, or I knew, like that was a waste of time or whatever the case may be. And that can happen in any sort of role or field or whatever, whether you're trying to go back to school or whatever. I think that there's always somebody that is looking at, any sort of situation like with the glass half empty type situation, like, or type look at like your life. So,
Right.
yeah, just keep it going, man. Do not give up.
Yeah, there's that. All right, let's go and wrap it up here. Switching gears. A man was shot after trying to stop a robbery. This happened locally here in Bakersfield at the Foods Co. Off of White Lane. Recently, the man shot and killed in Foods Co. parking lot on White Lane on Friday has been identified as 22-year-old Joseph Macias. This is terrible. This is sad. He's just such a young man. The Kern County coroner reported that Macias was found shot by another person at 9:26 p.m. on January 2nd at Foods Co. located at 1801 White Lane. Bakersfield police responded to reports of shooting and discovered Macias in the parking lot with a apparent gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. According to the police, the suspects were confronted by patrons as they left the parking lot, prompting one suspect to fire rounds, striking and killing Macias. So he tried to intervene in a robbery that was happening. Man, I would, and this is no slight to him or anybody, any other good pedestrian or patron, but do not try to be a hero in those situations. You have no idea what kind of weapons people have on them or anything, and it's in your best interest to protect your life and just call the police, man. That's all you can do. You're not gonna a person that is committing a crime in broad daylight is a very dangerous person because there's cameras everywhere. Mm-hmm. They've considered the dangers already, and so they don't get caught or busted. Who knows how a person that's truly scared will shoot you too, because they don't want to get stopped or busted, so they don't give a fuck. They'll shoot. Out of fear. Yeah, out of fear they'll shoot you. Mm-hmm. I remember it's probably like 2006 or 2005. Me and my dad went to this little liquor store by our house, and we were getting some gas. We were getting ready to pull out of the stall, and some dude was slapping his girlfriend, slapped her to the ground, and we looked at each other and we looked over there, and then as he was slapping her and he bent over, his pistol was poking out his back pocket. So if me and my dad had intervened in that moment, we would have got shot dead. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you have to consider your safety as well when you see something like that going on. And I've seen some women say, like, I don't understand why men they're not stepping up. They should be helping women. And it's like, wait a minute. I understand. I honestly understand what you're saying. But I am more likely to help a woman that I know. I can't intervene in a situation where if that guy shoots me and I'm trying to defend a woman's honor and then he goes to prison or he goes to court, that same woman he was beating is going to be defending him. There's a strong chance of that. I remember there was a time where I have an aunt that for some reason she dates guys that beat on her, right? My dad went and defended her, and she called the police on my dad. So that's the thing. Like, the point I'm trying to make is don't try to be a hero all the time. If it's not a situation that you can't be sure of, you need to just contact the fucking local authorities. Yeah. Because this young man was only 22 years of age, and my God, he has so much life ahead of him.
I think one thing that you gotta assess with these situations is it something that you willing to lose your life over?
Absolutely.
So if it's your wife or your son or daughter or your brother or something like that, like, you kind of assess those situations. Like, if this goes wrong and I die, then it's like something that I'm willing to die over. But if it's somebody in, like, there's no life or death in it, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain situations where maybe somebody's getting a purse snatched or something like that. Yeah. And it might be better for whatever the case. I think that example is terrible. But whatever the situation is, like, if you assess it and you realize, like, it might be more beneficial for me to just call law enforcement and I don't need to be no hero in this situation, that's probably, like, the better scenario. Because, one, you get to preserve your life, obviously, and then the police that do come to the situation, they come with the proper training and etiquette to, either diffuse the situation or, handle the situation accordingly if they do see a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what makes it worse too is a 22-year-old. I would think that he wasn't processing what was going to happen because when you're that young, you have that little bit of life experience. You don't really have the liberty to be like, oh, this can happen, this can happen. I think that when you're very young, you really probably won't consider your life as much. You just think like, I'm going to stop this person. What they're doing is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, your brain, your frontal cortex is not fully developed either. Your prefrontal cortex is not very developed. So you're still maturing. I'm not saying it was immature what he did. I'm just saying that had he been 30, it may be a different outcome. There's a chance that maybe if he was older, he may have not done that, because once you process enough people in life and you come across enough people in life, you understand that everybody is not worth protecting. Every situation is not worth inserting yourself, and especially if it could cause you to die. And also on top of that, Foods Co. or whatever was going on in Foods Co., like a lot of these stores and people, they have a lot of these situations already under control. They have the protocols, and they have insurance if there's any damages or something in the store.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna, if somebody robs Foods Co., I'm not gonna protect them.
Yeah.
I remember when I worked at Sears back in the day, they tried to get me to stop a shoplifter, and I didn't run at all. I'm like, y'all not going to get me to run, and then I get outside, and now I'm getting stabbed over Sears? You got me fucked up. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I get stabbed. What they'll do is, if I get stabbed at Sears, right, they're going to be like, they're going to give me some get well cards, and they're going to throw a pizza party.
Yeah. Yep.
Why? Okay, hold on. I don't understand this. Why do we call it a pizza party? We're literally just eating pizza. Like, it's just eating pizza. It's like a pizza party is the biggest scam in American history. You put party on the end of something that's just food.
Yeah, I don't know the definition of party, but I mean, when we had those in school, it was like a low-key function.
No, you were just too immature to realize you were just eating pizza.
No, we would have like.
Did you put that little cone hat on when you ate pizza?
Yeah, we had a little strobe light in there.
No, you fucking did. You fucking lying, man. Ain't no strobe light, nigga. This ain't the disco. What the fuck? Y'all was eating pizza with a disco ball in the corner of the classroom next to the American flag. Oh my God! Remember we used to have to do that before every class. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. You remember that?
We still do.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes.
And to the republic
I ain't
for
gonna
which it
front.
stands.
I think it's super weird.
It's super weird.
It's super weird.
It's almost like conditioning.
Yeah, I just don't get. I don't get it. Like, there's some things like there's traditions that happen, throughout our lives, and not until you start to see the world clearly with your third eye or whatever, do you be like, oh, why do we do this? And the flag salute is definitely one. So yeah, we do that every day during second period. Yeah.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it still the same thing?
Yep.
I pledge it. And when you're a little kid, it sounds even more sinister. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. People were saying that shit as they had segregated schools. Right. Lying bitch.
Indivisible.
Yeah.
Two nations under God.
Yeah.
Niggas and white people.
Niggas and Jews. Oh man. My dad was segregated, bro. That's the thing that's crazy.
Yeah, I was just man, I pray, something comes of this, but I was looking at this shout out to whoever did. I don't even know the guy's name, but he was like, yo, these are the film grants for black filmmakers, and he just posted like a bunch of screenshots of different stuff. And I looked at the first one, and it's called like the 1803 film grant or something like that. And they're giving a lot of money to black filmmakers, but the only thing is it has to be a story rooted in Portland. So I was talking to ChatGPT, like, yo, like, give me some historical information about Portland and their Black history and stuff like that. And there was some wild stuff. At one point in time, there was Oregon didn't, when they first created the state, and this is ChatGPT, so it could be accurate, it could be, some nonsense. But at one point in time, it said that Oregon didn't want any Black people in the state at all.
God,
like when
damn.
they first were created, there was like another, there was like another Tulsa kind of like Black community that was there, and you know how that goes.
They ran them out.
Yeah,
oh my God,
they ran everybody.
And Portland
out
and Oregon is so liberal too.
Yeah. So which is really weird. So yeah, I say that to say I didn't know that was going on.
Nah, I didn't know that either.
So,
that's crazy.
Crazy stuff. But yeah, I got to do more research on that to see what's going on. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. In Oregon, it's super. I know it's super rainy out there.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine being Black in those times and it's raining really hard. They're like, get out of our state. You like, bro,
it's raining outside.
At least let the rain stop before you kick us out for being Black. Fuck. let's sleep off this rain first at least. Damn. It's kind of ironic that probably some of the only Black population is on the fucking Oregon Ducks and the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah.
That's some of the only Black people there.
Mm-hmm.
I know way back in the day, there was a documentary about Colorado. It's with, I think Cordell Stewart might have been on the documentary, and it talked about Colorado.
Oh, the school.
Huh?
The school.
Yeah, Colorado Buffaloes. How there was no Black attendance there. There was no Black students.
School, yeah.
It was literally all the Black students were on the football team.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And even though it's like a little bit different now, it's still the same. Ain't no Black people nowhere, bro. Like, just to be honest.
I think what's the other Ann Arbor? Is it? No, that's Michigan. Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ann Arbor near? Is it near Colorado?
No,
It's way off.
Michigan is way further north.
Way further. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's man.
Yeah.
Well, there's that. Well, we'll go ahead and let you guys enjoy your Monday. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Finks.
We're out of here.
Peace.